Howdy. It's New Year's Eve 2025. We could put an end to this absolute train wreck of a year. Hopefully it'll just end. Wouldn't it be horrible if you woke up New Year's Day and it's like you have to repeat the whole year over and over again, like Groundhog's Day? That would be terrible. Hi. I thought I'd do a quick wrap up. I'm doing it in a different setting. The lighting's not perfect, but I just got tired of always having that same setting where I'm staring into computer screens, and now I'm staring into my camera. Lighting is a challenge. I don't know if I'll keep doing this or maybe invest in some lighting. I don't know. Who knows? I have a ring light somewhere and I can't find it, but I thought I'd do one of these records I found recently and maybe do a little wrap up of 2025 of sorts. One of these that I've recently found in my favorite record stores, as is been a Morton Subotnik record. 4 Butterflies, which I'd never seen before. It was really cheap, and for good reason. The A side of it was very scratched, like not skipping, but just an audible click. Side 2 is great. Butterflies number 1 through 4. Pretty cool work by this pioneering electronic musician. So I'm always happy to have something like that. I have a pretty big section of what I call electronica, just the earliest electric music. And then along that same vein, also from the As Is Been, a Beaver Crouse record. A lot of rock records that have synthesizer on them will have a credit by Paul Beaver. He was just sort of like everybody's go-to Moog person, but Beaver and Krause put out a number of records. And this one came out in 1971, and it's called Gandharva. And it's actually a pretty record. It's maybe a little too much for my tastes. Just kind of folky, spiritual, with some synth stuff in it. Very trippy, also very scratched, very as is. And I haven't even listened to this yet. I don't even know if I really need to, because I have it digitally. I think I have it on CD. But the Beatles, Yellow Submarine, I had to have it. I haven't had this on vinyl ever, except for when I was a little kid and it wasn't my copy. But this is the first record, like rock and roll record, that I remember listening to incessantly. As soon as I was old enough to listen to my dad's stereo with headphones, I listened to this record over and over and over when I was probably like 9 or 10, maybe. I don't know. And I actually listened to the flip side of it. Side 2 is all the original music for the film that was composed and orchestrated by George Martin. And I love that scene. It was my first instance where I remember realizing that music would just sort of make a film in your head. And it wasn't even... This movie would show up like on Sunday afternoon TV occasionally, back when we had nothing but local TV. So it was always very exciting. And I still have my the novelization, which was really just a bunch of stills from the movie, kind of done in the style of like a fumetti comic book. I believe those are called. The comic books where they just take pictures from a film and put captions on them. Yeah, fumetti, I believe that's correct. But I also, just Only a Northern Song, I thought was that guitar feedback thing at the beginning of it, I thought was the coolest fucking thing in the world. And I like the piano, the interaction of the bass, guitar, and piano on Hey Bulldog. Just, it rocked my world. And the cat is here, because of course he is. So I was excited to get this, just have it. If it's really hammered, this record is a dime a dozen. I'll just get another one. The back has really peculiar scratches on it, like maybe it had mold and somebody just meticulously picked it off, or some bizarre insect decided to eat the back art. Hi Miko, how you doing? Another news. I got an espresso machine and I'm just making espressos willy-nilly now, and it's crazy. Right now I'm having a lovely mocha. Yeah, I don't have a problem. And I was super excited to get this record. I had this back in the day, And this is one of those records that I would always include something on a mixtape, but it's the Crucifucks, a band from Wisconsin, or are they from Michigan? I don't remember. I should research this stuff before I do them. This is like one of the most alternative tentacles records ever. If you like early Dead Kennedys, you'd love this band. Very confrontational punk rock band with a really hard sound and fantastic drums by Steve Shelley, who later went on to be in Sonic Youth, and is well, not currently, but the fun part about this record is between songs are all of these audio verite passages of like phone calls and confrontations with police, and it's just a really good album of just like like if you could put it on a political chart, it's like this irrational leftist kind of album, kind of along the lines of Feeders, with probably one of the most annoying lead singers ever, like beyond Angelo Badalamenti. It's a guy named Doc Corbin Dart, who has the most excruciatingly hilarious voice. He kind of reminds me of like when Roseanne Barr first started doing stand-up, and she had like this kind of affected, really intentionally irritating voice. That's what Doc Dart kind of sounds like. And then their follow-up album to this called Wisconsin was just fucking fantastic album. Great instrumentation, great really pointed political lyrics. Doc Corbin Dart, I guess, was the heir to like a banking family and a paper cup making family. And he sort of went off the deep end. I remember him getting interviewed around the time of 9/11 that he was putting out all these "I'm glad that troops died" signs. I think he just was one of those people that has like just extremely antisocial, anti-authoritarian thing to him, where he comes off as he's just absolutely batshit crazy, but in the interview with him, he didn't seem quite as crazy. Also, he put out an album that I need to find called Patricia, that I think was like a love ode to his psychiatrist. So yeah, Crucifucks. Fantastic album. A lot of fun. I recommend it. And I have it on CD, but I needed to have it on vinyl again. And then I was super jazzed to get this, even though I have a lot of this stuff on CD, but the soundtrack to the TV show, Twin Peaks, that was reissued a couple of years ago, and it's on like Coke bottle green vinyl, which I don't generally care about, but it's pretty in this case. I don't know what that's supposed to represent. The green, maybe the water that Laura Palmer was floating in. Who knows? But yeah, it's nice to have that on vinyl. I want more Lynch, Angelo Badalamenti stuff on vinyl. The only thing I actually have is that Jushu album plays the music of Twin Peaks, and that's a beautiful album. I might have it up in my new section, even though it's not quite new. Damn, thinking about David Lynch makes me think about having coffee. Damn good coffee. And then I was pretty excited to get this. I bought it on Bandcamp, and then I decided I needed the vinyl. But it's Descending Pharaohs, who are from Portland, who are a band kind of like psychedelic, almost stoner rock, along the vein of like the Grails, who are also from Portland. Dead Sea Apes from the UK, who I love. This is along those veins, although it has sort of like the Anatolian, Turkish music quality to it, and Middle Eastern. And there's a lot of stuff about Palestine in the liner notes, and a fantastic poster of resources to help people in Palestine. Fantastic album. I'm looking forward to getting more of their stuff. Really cool album that kind of has like an Obi band wrapping around it. There's a poster I took out of it, or a booklet. Lots of cool stuff in it, but you could find them on Bandcamp, and you can order the vinyl from Bandcamp through them. And they're, like I said, they're from Portland. And then this is something I gifted myself for Christmas, and I'm super excited to get it. I've been on a early residence kick lately, and it occurred to me, it's like I don't own Meet the Residents on vinyl. I've had the reissue of the original mono version on CD for many years. Matter of fact, I bought it like during Christmas shopping sometime in the 90s. And so it was kind of appropriate that as I was online shopping for Christmas gifts that I got, finally got Meet the Residents, the preserved edition, which includes 3 discs. The first disc is the original 1974 mono mix of Meet the Residents. And then sides, the other disc is Meet the Residents, the 1977 mix, stereo mix, which I'd never heard before. I think I may have listened to it online a long time ago. And there are very just subtle differences other than it being in mono. Like some of the songs are slightly shorter, just slightly, quite a bit different mix. And then sides 5 and 6 on the next disc, just a whole bunch of ephemera. There's Meet the Residents, Alternate Concentrate, which is just like a condensed version of the album. And then some weird outtakes that are just super cool. If you love that first album, hearing these outtakes makes it really worthwhile. Very cool. And then there's like an audio thing, Ralph Records guided tour, somebody going through like their archives. Very cool. It comes with the book, 3 discs. I bought the MVD version of Meet the Residents, I think in 2011, and I immediately returned it because whoever was doing it at that time, when they decided to put it on vinyl, it sounds like they just sent them digital files and not good digital files. They sounded like MP3s to me. And also, most glaringly, there are a bunch of, like, I think the first 4 songs on side 1 of it flow together really nice on the original album. Boots, Num Muroni, Guy Lombardo, and Breath and Length. All 4 of those songs are just like one kind of continuous song. Well, on the MVD release, for some reason, you could hear like these audible gaps between songs. I mean, obviously it was a digital file, and they sounded terrible. It was just so jarring. You'd be listening to it, and if you'd listened to that album many times, it would just really stand out to you. Suddenly, between songs, there's like this millisecond gap between the songs, and I actually returned it, and I wrote to them and said, there's something really wrong with that digital file. Somebody needs to look at it. And they said, well, it's what was supplied to us by the Cryptic Corporation, but they did refund my money. So I think they have taken care of it in subsequent years. But yeah, super glad to have that one. And then this is kind of cool. My kids got me this for Christmas. This is not a record, but I've been studying, like watching YouTube retrospectives on the Universal horror movies, and my kids got me this. It's like a multi-DVD set of the classic Universal Classic Monsters Complete 30 film collection. It actually does have everything, all the way up to the 1956's The Creature Walk Among Us. So it starts out with Dracula in 1931, and just all of them. It's just amazing. Even the Abbott and Costello movies. I've been wanting to watch all of these. I've of course watched Dracula and Frankenstein many times. I haven't seen The Mummy in years. I don't remember watching The Invisible Man, but all the Frankenstein saga movies, as silly as they get, I want to watch them all. So this is thanks to my kids for getting me that. And and this has been, like, for me, an Aleister Crowley themed Christmas. There's another book I have. Oh, I forgot it. It's downstairs. I got Crowley's Moonchild, but I also bought myself, just for the heck of it. I've always coveted this. My ex-wife had this, and it was one of those like thrift store finds, and it was like, I felt like we had this unspoken thing. If somebody really wants a weird thrift store find, you should give it to them. But she held on to it, so I bought myself a Thoth tarot card Crowley set, and then this isn't necessarily Aleister Crowley, but I found a really nice copy of Compendium Malefactorum, sort of an adaptation of the Malus Malefactorum. So, hail Satan. Oh, and this is for many years, this has been my Aleister Crowley Christmas card. This season, do what thou wilt, that I used to give out to friends. I still have some, but I didn't do cards this year. This Christmas kind of sucked. But it's over. Yay. But yeah, and I'm hoping 2026 is a better year for all of us. You, me, everybody. I'm hoping for big news. Big horrible news. I'm hoping for one of those. You remember where you were when you heard that kind of news this year. That's all I'm gonna say. Coffee. I think that's gonna do it for me. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe if you like it. I'm gonna do more. I have ceased doing a weekly radio show. I'm still doing a bi-weekly radio show on one station, but I thought I'd do that to kind of free myself up time-wise. There's a bunch of things I need to catch up on, reading some books, doing some life change kind of things, just self-improvement things. I just needed to take a break and regroup. And but what I want to do is make more videos, and we'll see. I did get a weird message from YouTube saying that because I'm not jumping through some hoop adequately, or maybe because I swear in my videos, I don't know, that there are certain things my videos don't meet some community requirements, and I can't do certain things like link in the comments. We'll see. I'll see if I can. I didn't fully understand it, and I didn't know if it was worth investigating, because I have no interest other than I'd like to promote these videos, but I don't really care if I'm monetized or if my audience is limited. You know, like I always say, my videos are not made for kids, so I don't know what that means yet. I may look into it again with my spare time. I might look at ways that I can optimize the reach of my YouTube channel, but I don't know. I just like making them. Anyway, see you later. Have a good year. Bye-bye.